Tiz the Law in front with 3/16 to the finish. Tiz the Law has a 4-length lead. He's left the others behind.
Live from the backstretch at historic Saratoga Race Course, this is Racing Across America with Seth Merrow. Racing Across America is brought to you by Pinnell's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. The Leah Auto Group, Leah Cars for life. Find them on the web at leahcars.com. The new Capital OTB wagering platform. Bet any place, anytime with the new Capital OTB wagering platform. CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier wagering site in New York State. And the Clubhouse Racebook. Can't make it to the track? Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
Good morning and welcome to Racing Across America on a gorgeous Saturday morning, live from our Clare Court set in Saratoga, where we were almost joined by a horse earlier this morning during the handicappers report. If you were watching, there was a loose horse. He walked right by the front of the tent. There's an opening, a little opening there. Kind of walked right by, but then got to the corner of Clare Court here, slowed down, and they were able to corral him and take him back. And so everybody wound up fine on the Saturday morning with a little excitement earlier in the morning. As you can see, I am still in the same outfit, but now you have to tune in tomorrow for the handicappers report. Steve Vick will be guest handicapping and then going to Loose on the Lead. And he kind of hinted he may have an outfit change between the two shows. Yeah, that's not happening here. I'm in the same outfit one show to the. I barely make it with the one outfit, so you are stuck with. If you're not liking this, tomorrow I will be wearing something slightly different, but there's no change between the shows. But we have a nice show today, regardless of the outfit. A lot of fun today. Let me first, before we do that, hit on the promos that are coming up, because today, Saratoga Syndicate Day, syndicate set for this week, but don't forget, every Saturday during the meet, we will have a syndicate. It opens up first come, first serve on Sunday, so check out the website tomorrow for your shot on getting into next Saturday's syndicate. Today there's also a Pick 3 bankroll. I'll be playing that on behalf of some patrons. Check the website to see if there are availability still or the potential to put your name in the hat for that, capitalotb.com. Play the board contest today down at the Clubhouse Racebook. Keep that in mind. Tomorrow there's a show pool bankroll. You can put your name in the hat for that at the website. Tomorrow there's also a Pick 4 and a match bet promotion at the Clubhouse Racebook. Today here at the racetrack, PDJF Awareness Day, Permanently Disabled Jockeys Fund, a really worthwhile racing-related charity. But you can make a donation and come away with some jockey autographs. And everybody loves to get the programs autographed, or if you have some photos, get those autographed. All your favorite jockeys over on the front side today by the Silks Room from 11:30 to 12:30 to benefit PDJF. That's today on the front side. Jockey autograph session from 11:30 to 12:30. Also want to remind you, we'll keep doing it during the meet because the low rollers contest up here, Thursdays and Sundays. So the low rollers back tomorrow over on the front side by the 4-Star Dave setup. You can sign up for the low rollers. I always tout it. It's a lot of fun. And for folks who don't normally do contests, you can sign up, and you have to think a little bit differently and look for some value. I think it helps your handicapping, but also it's a great introduction to contests. And we do the tourney bet contest at Capital OTB all the time, so maybe it'll kind of pull you into the contest side of things. The low rollers, that's tomorrow up here at the racetrack. But as far as today, guest-wise in the show, a little bit later on, I will be joined here live on the set by Brad Cox. He, of course, has Essential Quality today in the Jim Dandy. We'll talk about that one and more. We'll also be joined by Penelope Miller from America's Best Racing. Fun website if you've never checked it out. Kind of a branch of the Jockey Club, and great information, fun information, wagering, handicapping information as well over at America's Best Racing. We'll talk about that and more with Penelope. We're going to kick things up with a little tape piece we did a couple of days ago over in the Stakes Barn. It's Ron and Laura Moquette. Of course, they have Whitmore in the Vanderbilt, the reigning sprint champion, and you'll see a little Whitmore in the piece as well. But we talked about Whitmore and a little more with Ron and Laura, just to get a preview of today and beyond. So coming up next, a little discussion of Whitmore and the Vanderbilt and more with Ron and Laura Moquette. Ron and Laura Moquette, guys, thanks for joining us.
Thanks for letting us.
Talk a little Whitmore. Whitmore coming up on Saturday afternoon in the Grade 1 Vanderbilt up here at Saratoga. Let's just talk a little bit about last year, and I'd like to get both of you to comment one at a time. And Ron, I'll start with you. Talk about the Breeders' Cup win last year, which was
turn 21.64 seconds the time for the opening quarter. Jasper Prince against the rail leads it by a length around the far turn. Empire of Gold second by 3/4 of a length. Yo Pond is in third. CZ Rocket is in fourth. Diamond Oops and Lasting Legacy move as a team to the center of the track. Echo Town and Maniwa in some traffic looking toward the inside. Jasper Prince the leader. Here comes Empire of Gold on the outside of that one. Echo Town, an awkward move there. CZ Rocket is moving up on the outside. Here's Whitmore. Here's Whitmore. Here's Whitmore. Here's Whitmore striding forward for the lead in the final furlong of the Breeders' Cup Sprint. What a day in the career of this 7-year-old. Whitmore and Rod Ortiz Jr. have won the Breeders' Cup Sprint in 1 minute, 8.61 seconds.
It's just super special and just reminisce of what it was like to win the Breeders' Cup with Whitmore.
It was a dream. It was one of, my life goals met. I grew up where speed was king, and the sprint was as big a deal as the Kentucky Derby to us. And actually, when she and I met, I told her I was going to win the Breeders' Cup Sprint one day, and that was my selling card to her. So, but it was kind of like reaching a dream.
Laura, what are your memories of the win?
It was so exciting. I probably blacked out during most of it. It was so fun. I was just so proud of him. And
reminisce a little bit about then a while later. It had to be super special, especially with this guy. I mean, it's just an incredible record. He has over $4 million in earnings. Fan favorite. We'll talk about that in a while. But reflect on also, Laura, I'll let you go first, winning the Eclipse Award with this one.
It was a huge honor. We kind of expected it just because he won the sprint and he'd been so consistent, and everybody name recognition is huge when you're around for as long as he is. But it was really nice to be able to get that award.
And how did it work last year? Because there wasn't an actual ceremony. Did you find out beforehand and then had to keep it on the QT?
I can't remember if I did or not. If I did, I found out very, very close to them making an announcement.
Did they go and get like an acceptance speech then from everybody? So then you found out?
No, they didn't get it from me. They got it from our managing partner, which is Bob LaPenta, and he did a great job, which is good because I'd have been turning flips.
What did it feel like winning the Eclipse?
It was awesome. We were sitting beside each other, and whenever they announced it, we luckily where we live is very close to our barn. It's like walking distance. So we jumped in a truck and drove to the barn.
Ran over and gave him some candy.
And gave him some candy and thanked him for all he's done for us.
Excellent. And, talk a little bit about, I do a handicapping show from our studio in Albany the rest of the year, and I love Oaklawn, and we have the folks from Oaklawn visit us a lot. We talked with Nancy Holthus, and we talked with Rick Hamley a few times this year, and we talked about Whitmore and what a fan favorite he is, not just at Oaklawn, but beyond, but talk a little bit about his fan favorite status, particularly down there in Arkansas. He really seems to be a fan favorite.
In Arkansas, he could probably run for office.
Yeah, I think he'd definitely get the vote.
They love him in Arkansas, and he's done a lot of his major races have been there. But as he gets older and things, I'm noticing that people follow him, and never thought that we'd be fortunate enough to have a horse that would have that kind of recognition. But it's pretty cool to pull up and see someone wearing a Whitmore hat, or two people talking about that's their favorite horse, and they don't even realize who I am, and that's good. The horse is the one that deserves the credit. It's not us. So I just, it's surreal, but it's awesome.
Yeah, have you seen that from the fans, Laura?
Yeah, oh, for sure. And just even out on the track in the morning, just every single person that's out there is, oh, there goes the big horse.
And I'll ask you, Laura, what's his personality like? I hear he's a little cantankerous.
He is quite cantankerous. He's getting better now that he's 8. I think he'll be broke finally when he's about 20.
You know, he's going into the race, the Vanderbilt, on Saturday. Talk a little bit about how he has acclimated himself to Saratoga and what you're looking for on Saturday afternoon.
Well, he's a pro, and he carries his track with him.
This is his summer home.
Yeah, this is
He loves it here.
Like some people go to the lake, well, he goes to Saratoga, and he's very. He seems very settled in. We've always had to worry about the ship getting here. You know, hopefully that's smooth and trained forwardly. We like where he's at. We believe we're bringing a good representation of him, you know, over Saturday. Now we just hope we get a good trip.
You won the 2018 Forego with him.
Whitmore has room at the rail and comes charging on through, and they're into the stretch. Whitmore has come through on the inside. City of Light is right alongside. The two of them coming to the final furlong together. Whitmore's in front. City of Light runs hard at him on the outside. They're 1-2 at the 16th pole. Whitmore digs in, drifts out. It's gonna be Whitmore and Ricardo Santana Jr. to do it.
Does that give you extra confidence having a win over the track?
I believe anytime you know won a grade 1 at a surface, then you're not as long as the track is fast and it's like it was whenever we won the Forego, you got to feel pretty good. Having said that, if you read the past performances, most your handicappers will, they see that this race is chock full of horses that have performed well in graded stakes company and also over the surface. So it's a good race. It's good as any grade 1 you'd ever want to run in at Saratoga.
What's your level of confidence on Saturday?
I'm confident that we're going to run a good race. I just want to get the good trip and you know, good luck and all that.
Well, we wish you a lot of good luck with
Thank
Whitmore and the Vanderbilt on Saturday.
Thanks.
Again, he's a fan favorite. Everybody loves to root for these kind of war horse
Oh, yeah.
performers, and so again, good luck. Let's just talk a little more. You kind of alluded to it earlier. I'd love to hear from both of you because I say it all the time. We get new fans that watch us during Saratoga, and our audience expands a little bit. So I just always want to give a little background to make it easier to root for the people behind the horses as well. So I'll start with Laura. How'd you get into the game?
It's quite a long story. Basically, a sweet old man drove down the driveway of a farm I was working for and begged me and the guy's son to come get on horses. And the boy I worked with didn't like it, and because it's kind of like organized chaos, and I loved it, so I just got hooked early.
And Ron?
I grew up near a quarter horse racing circuit and a bunch of bush tracks, and I loved horses, and it was really neat to go watch them run and when I was a kid, and couldn't wait to try to incorporate some of what I learned to see if, you know, how I'd measure up. And when I went to the first thoroughbred track, I was hooked.
And how did you two meet?
In a shed row.
I was
Under a barn roof, of course.
I was working for Bernie Flint, and she was, her friend or roommate was walking hots for us, and we needed gallop help, and
Stole me from a different barn.
we claimed her from somewhere else, and it was a very great claim.
So somehow it's always the roommate. The roommate is always involved somehow in these stories.
Yeah.
I don't know where that guy is now, but I'm very happy that he got a job walking hots for Bernie Flint, because I think that
Yeah.
she's very important, obviously, in my life, but in the shed row. And it's very good.
It's weird how things connect.
Yeah, you just stay around.
Degree
the
of
shed row,
separation.
good things will happen.
Very good. I was doing a little research last night, and I must say I tip my hat to both of you, because you may have the best home in all of horse racing. I saw a little clip. You're located right.
It's perfect.
I mean, literally right on the backstretch of Oak Lawn. They had a shot where the horses, you could reach out and touch the horses as they turned
Yeah.
around and saw your house. Talk a little about, Laura, I'll let you start. Talk a little bit about the the house down at Oak Lawn.
Oh, it's the easiest thing in the world to be able to just drive in, shut the car off, and go to bed. To have a house that's a mile from the barn, no matter what's going on and what's happening, you know, you can get there fast, and we don't have to deal with traffic. It's lovely.
And Ron, you've described it and give people a little bit of the description of that Jurassic Park when the races are going.
Yeah, it's no exaggeration. We're closer to the track than you are at an average track if you're in the grandstands.
Yeah.
So
You can feel them go by.
So you can set a glass of water there when the horses rush past out of the three-quarter chute. You can watch the water shake like it's Jurassic Park. And for a sicko like me that loves horses and loves racing, that's the neatest
That was the
thing in
cool.
world.
Yeah.
I mean, that had
That
me.
sold the house immediately.
And then when you tell people, when they say where you live, you say, you know, by the 4.5 pole, you know. That's pretty cool.
I said it looks like the best house in all of horse racing. I'm envious there. And let's talk a little bit about Oaklawn. I've made one visit down there, really enjoyed it. I have a sister who lives up in Fayetteville, so I made a trip down and had a visit a few years back, and I enjoy it. And I want to get your impression from both of you. I think Oaklawn and Saratoga are very simpatico. I think they're very similar. The town, the people, the fans. Laura, you talk a little bit about the comparisons.
I'm not sure if everybody that's there feels like they're on vacation, even if you live there, but that's how it feels every time we go. It feels like we're going home. Everybody's excited every time you show up because the horse races are there, and everybody's just got like an internal joy because things get exciting when the horses are in town.
Yeah, it seems very similar.
Oaklawn is basically the southern cousin of Saratoga. They have excitement for the game. They the town opens up, and the reason that everyone is there is simply for the horses. They've got spas and parks and everything that you have here, except a little, probably not quite as refined, but they are very excited, and they're very loyal fans, and they follow their horses around, and it's a great spot. Two places you got to go. I throw in three. You've got to go to Oaklawn, Saratoga, and Keeneland. Those three places are a representation of what racing should be.
I totally agree. I think it was the same trip that I went to Oaklawn when I headed north. I made a stop by Keeneland a little bit later in the year because I'd been down to Florida for a while. So I totally agree. They were all three very worth the racing fan making the trek there.
Oh, yeah.
And speaking of racing fans, I'd like to get the opinion from both of you. They had fans down at Oaklawn this year. Obviously, we've come back to pretty much full capacity at Saratoga. And being on the this side of the game, your competitors, and it's a sport, and the fans play into a sport. How important has it been to get the fans back over the past few years, months?
Yes.
Well, they bring a level of excitement, and whenever you're walking over to the Kentucky Derby, there was a thing that everybody said you can feel when you're walking up there.
The energy.
You can feel the energy. And it's hard to explain until you do it, and I recommend everybody do that. But
At least once.
you can feel it in your chest, the energy.
Yeah.
And if there's passionate fans, and there's whenever you come up on any given Saturday at Oaklawn or Saratoga, you're going to run into 80% of the people are there to be excited about gambling and having a good time, and the other 20% are going to be just hardcore horse racing nuts. And you get that mixture together, and that infects them all, and then they all start screaming and bringing that chaos of cheering for their particular horse.
Yeah.
It's fun.
Yeah, no question about it. Opening day, it was fun to see people hadn't seen in a long time. Lots of smiles up here, and I think the best week and a half up here have been a lot of fun. And I think
A good story about the fans returning is the first day that I'm back at Saratoga, I was a little more quarantined at Oaklawn, and so this was the first time I was really around a big group of people. I'm walking through after the race, and we didn't run poor, but I got my first
Heckle.
heckle of the year, and I felt like,
We're back.
we're back. We're back. I had somebody ask me, what was I thinking and what was I doing with my real job, because I wasn't a horse trainer. And then I realized, thank gosh, the horse fans are back.
well, we'll end it on that note, because I think that is a perfect encompassing of how horse racing works and the fans are back.
Yeah.
But we're certainly wishing a lot of great luck on Saturday with Whitmore.
Thank you.
Because, again, he is a fan favorite. Has the grade 1 win up here. He'll try for another one on Saturday. So good luck with Whitmore. But a show of appreciation for you guys showing up with us, Capital OTV. Gift card to Jacob and Anthony's downtown. So have a little dinner
Fantastic.
on us.
Thank you.
Enjoy,
Thank you.
and we appreciate you taking the
Thank
time.
you very much. I
Thank you.
appreciate it.
Thanks.
Promotional consideration for Racing Across America provided by Jacob and Anthony's American Grill, featuring classic American recipes from the past with a modern presentation. Jacob and Anthony's American Grill, 38 High Rock Avenue, Saratoga.
Welcome to Albany County, an incredible destination to live, work, and play, with easy connections to more than a dozen cities from our vibrant modern airport. It's a short trip downtown to a hive of culture and amusement, from world-class shows at the newly renovated Times Union Center to reliving the past at the New York State Museum. From outdoor recreation to shopping to nightlife, Albany County has something for everyone. We'll see you soon.
Birdstone is an outside front. They're coming down to the finish. Can Smarty Jones hold on? Here comes Birdstone. Birdstone surges past. Birdstone wins the Belmont Stakes.
In front, but here comes High Chaparral. High Chaparral, the defending champ, to take it to Bob. These two arch rivals head to head with Joe Hart bearing down on them. It's going to be a three-horse photo finish in the turn. Here's the wire. Photo finish.
The Capital Region has some of the most sophisticated horse racing fans in the country. That's why Capital OTB built the Clubhouse Racebook. Here you can wager year-round on the best horse racing from around the world. The Clubhouse also has monthly promotions including live bankrolls, handicapping contests, and so much more. Like sports? Watch your favorite teams on more than 30 screens in Legends Field Sports Grill. Food, sports, and the excitement of championship horse racing. Only at the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
Welcome back, and thanks to Ron and Laura Moquette, and good luck this afternoon with Whitmore in the Vanderbilt. Promoted earlier, and happy to be joined now by our friend Penelope Miller, Senior Manager, Digital Media from America's Best Racing. And Penelope, it's been too long.
It's been too long, but I'm so happy to be back. Thank you for having me on.
We're happy to have you on, talk a little bit America's Best Racing and more. And before we do that, you and I were kind of talking off the air, and I just like your reaction, because it really has been with the Saratoga meet that things have started in the racing world to get back to normal. Now, I've said it for the last year and a half, the racing world did, I think, a great job during the pandemic, but in a lot of fanless situations, limited fan situations, but now at Saratoga, the fans are back, and it's great to have them. You were here opening weekend. You've been here now for a couple of days. Fun to have the fans back, right?
Oh my gosh. I mean, as I was telling you before the break, I was very fortunate to be able to cover the Belmont Stakes both in 2020 and in 2021. And, covering the Belmont in 2020 was a huge privilege because of how limited it was. But it was very eerie to be at Big Sandy on the biggest day of the year and have silence. Belmont this year was fantastic, but again, it was limited crowds. So for me to be able to come to Saratoga opening weekend, it feels like 2019. It is just a celebration, and it's the most wonderful feeling.
Yeah, we're happy to have you back and happy to have the fans back. And you do great work for America's Best Racing as you pop around the racetracks. I've always said you have one of the best jobs in horse racing, popping around the various tracks. But obviously the past year, that all changed for everybody.
It did, but we were very lucky. We were able to pivot to more of a watch and wager campaign and to try to teach people how to bet online, how to, set up an ADW, how to, pick a horse, that sort of thing, and encourage people to watch racing, because racing was, in a way, it was one of the luckiest sports out there because we never stopped.
Talk a little bit about the website, americasbestracing.net. If people aren't familiar, I'm sure a lot of the viewers are, but one of the reasons I wanted to have you on is up here at Saratoga, we get a broader audience, obviously, when we're here on the backstretch during the meet, and I think we pull in a lot of new fans, and I think a great resource is the website, America's Best Racing, which is kind of an arm of the Jockey Club, and you guys do a great job of, there's wagering information, there's fun, there's fashion information. Talk a little bit about the website and kind of the mission.
Sure. So America's Best Racing was founded in 2011, and the website began in 2012. There was a McKinsey study that said that horse racing needed help growing a new fan base. So we began, our job is to educate and entertain people who might be, they might watch the Kentucky Derby or the Preakness or the Belmont, the Breeders' Cup, but they might not know a lot about the sport itself. And sort of our thought is that there's no real wrong way to like horse racing. You can like it for the betting, for the scene, for the horses, for the history. So we try to bring people in from all angles. And a good example is Saratoga this year. We did a beginner's guide to Saratoga. The who, the what, the when, the where, the why, fun facts, how to bet, what to know, where to go, stuff like that. So really it's just, we want to teach people why they should love horse racing.
Yeah, it's a great resource, as I say, from folks who are into the game and familiar with it. There's some handicapping information, but there's the fun stuff to kind of pull you into the game as well. I also checked out the ABR Twitter feed, and I pulled up, you've got the cameras, and whenever we see Penelope, she's running around with the cameras, and she does a great job there with a lot of fun and interesting photos on the racetrack and on the backside and whatnot. I don't know whether you took this one, but I still had to pull it up. I think this young gentleman was in the stretch area, because there were a couple other pictures, but it's a young gentleman dressed up for Saratoga and clearly a fan for the future as he is leafing through the daily racing forum. So we can pull that photo. Yeah, you gotta love that. Right?
That's adorable. Unfortunately, that wasn't me, but it's a great shot. I'm guessing that was Eclipse Sports Wire.
Maybe, because it appeared on the ABR Twitter feed, as they say.
That reminds me of when I was a little kid here, I have to say.
I'm thinking you gotta love that. He's dressed for the spot and also reading the racing forum, and so our hat goes off to the photographer, but also to the young gentleman who is going to be a fan of the future.
Absolutely, and the parents. That is parenting done right.
Yeah, you're right. I should give credit to the fan. You are absolutely right. Speaking of fans, I wanted to bring you on also because ABR has the Fans' Choice Awards. A little bit different this year. There's some voting going underway right now.
There is. So this year we are doing something new for the 3rd annual Fan Choice Awards starting today, and once a week what we're doing is letting fans pick the finalists for 4 categories. That is, this week is Best Racetrack Food. We also have Best On-Air TV Personality. We have Favorite Radio Show and Podcast, and Favorite Small to Mid Circuit Track, which is a new category this year because there are some smaller tracks that maybe aren't on the nationally televised circuit that deserve a lot of recognition, because I know I used to work at a small track, Tampa Bay Downs.
One of my favorites.
Oh, me too.
Yeah.
And just because they might not have like the Breeders' Cup win on your ends, or one or no Kentucky Derby points races, it doesn't mean it's not a really valuable part of the racing world. And not everybody lives by a Belmont Park or a Del Mar or a Saratoga, but you might live next to a really cool small track.
And those are the tracks that pull people into the game.
Absolutely.
Yeah. And as I say, Tampa, one of my favorite tracks, and innovative as well. They were one of the, as far as I know, they were the first track that had that super slow-mo camera right on the finish line, which is a great innovation that other tracks have picked up on. But you get that close finish, and you're like, did I get it? And then they show that slow-mo replay, and you automatically know. So
and those are the best, because they're still a nail biter right until they come down to the wire.
So that was a great innovation there, but it's a great category to have. And as you say, voting opens today, and there'll be week-long voting in those 4 categories. Today's category, we kick off with favorite racetrack food.
What is your go-to racetrack food here at Saratoga?
Well, I'll tell you, I haven't done it yet, but Eddie F's, which is a restaurant in town of lobster rolls and fried clams, opened a shack on the track this year.
Oh, that's dangerous knowledge.
And he said, how have you not been over yet? Because I eat at the place in town all the time. That may, I'm guessing that's probably going to rank as my best, but I'll be interested to see where the fans go, because Oaklawn has the sandwich and
well, my go-to, if you've ever been to Woodbine.
Yeah, of course.
The roast beef sandwich there.
Okay.
Woo.
Very good. Yeah. Okay.
That's my vote.
Going to be interested to see where that goes. But again, coming up a little bit later on, the small mid-circuit racetrack. Favorite TV personality. Will I have to lobby for that a little bit?
Oh, you should absolutely lobby for it.
Yeah, that'd be fun. And best podcast or radio show coming up towards the end of the month. And again, there'll be week-long voting there. Go to the website to check that out. As I say, I was checking out Twitter and whatnot, and I think the guys have the photo. As I always, when I get guests in, I'll look at their Twitter feed and whatnot. and your Twitter header photo, speaking of Woodbine, I believe this is Woodbine. This is a great photo because, as I say, we see Penelope around the racetrack all the time with the camera. I love that. The fans are lined. You're just there alone. They got the phone, the cameras, and whatnot. And I immediately said, oh, that's Woodbine, just because of the inner rail and whatnot. But then I realized, oh, it's also a dead giveaway. You're just inside the inner rail, but you're on grass.
On
so
the
it has
turf
to be
course.
Woodbine.
It is. My friend Will Wong took that photo, and that is me frantically uploading, I think either right before or right after the Woodbine Mile. And I just love it because, everyone else is trying to get into position, and I'm frantically trying to get something on social media. But, as you say, I have the greatest job in the world. I mean, I get to take pictures of horse racing for a living and then write about it and put content up on the website and social media. And it really is just an amazing privilege to get to work in this sport around these amazing animals and the people who support them.
Yeah, and talk a little bit about maybe a typical day. And I pull up another photo that I know you took this one when you were up here opening weekend. We're going to have Brad Cox sit in next to talk essential quality. You had a nice photo from opening weekend, essential quality at bath time. And I'm assuming this was in the morning. And just talk a little bit about popping around in the morning and getting photos like this.
Sure. So on that specific day, I got up at about 4:30 in the morning to be here. I know.
God bless you.
To be here for the first, as soon as the track opened, because Essential Quality was coming out first set. Got some photos and video of him making his way out to the track. Also got photos and videos of him having his workout, followed him back to the barn, did some live video for Facebook of him having his bath, and then took some beauty shots of him after his bath, because I think people really like to see the horse relaxed, just hanging out, that sort of thing. I think it gives people insight to the love and care that goes into horses like this. And I also think that we who have access to the backstretch have an amazing privilege to be able to show people what goes on behind the scenes for people who can't come back here and see it themselves. Saratoga is remarkable, as you know, because unlike a lot of other racetracks, fans can come to the backstretch, especially at Oklahoma. They have the Whitney viewing stand. It provides insight into the day-to-day lives of these horses. But I think that because people are so, passionate about the well-being of the horses, and that's a good thing in my mind. It's a wonderful thing to show, all these horses being cared for, what their day-to-day life is, stuff like that. So.
Yeah, you do a great job, obviously, with the photos, the backstretch and the front side in the afternoon as well. And you've kind of alluded to it already, but I'd love your impression going around to the various racetracks. You've been at many of the racetracks here in the country and Woodbine north of the border as well. But I'd love your impression of Saratoga and the fact that I always say it's not just within the fences, the racetrack here. What's fun about Saratoga is you go downtown at night, you have dinner, and the folks at the next table are talking about their double the next day or the triple they hit that afternoon, and that's what makes Saratoga
or about
so
the
much
horse
fun.
they just trained to a Grade 1 victory. Like, that's the coolest thing about Saratoga, I think, is that anywhere you go within the city limits, you're going to run into somebody who either is employed by the sport or an ardent fan of it. And it's so interesting. I mean, Saratoga to me, I'm very lucky. I've been coming here since I was a baby. In fact, 2020, I think, was one of 2 years of my entire, I'm not saying how long.
I wasn't going to ask.
But my entire life that I haven't been able to come up to the spa. And for me, this place is remarkable because of what you just said. I mean, it is a city that has grown up around horses. I mean, Saratoga itself is America's oldest sporting venue. How cool is that? And, there's so much history and so much passion, and the racing has shaped the town as much as the town has shaped the racing. So being able to come back, have it be the first full meet that has fans back 100% capacity, it's so meaningful. And I hope anybody who's watching who maybe hasn't come to the track yet will take the opportunity this year to check it out. It is incredibly beautiful. The city is sublime. And it's a really, there's a very sophisticated dining scene, as we talked about. The National Museum of Racing and Hall of Fame is here. Their upgraded Hall of Fame experience. I was ugly crying audibly by the end of it because it was so moving and beautiful. There's so much to do and enjoy. And then, of course, the focal point of everything is the racetrack and the racing itself. And you're not going to find better racing on the planet this time of year. I mean, every Saturday feels like it could be a World Championship Breeders' Cup day.
Including today.
Including
as well.
today.
Before we let you go, I also, going down your Twitter feed, I have to let you brag on yourself a little bit because I believe you were the champion last year. I'll let you fill us in on this year, but also fill us in on the Real Rider Cup and how that plays out. And it plays into, we've talked about it on the show before with other folks, the second careers for some of the retired thoroughbreds, which is a very important topic for the industry. But you participated again this year in the Real Rider Cup, and I pulled up the PPs here because when I saw the name of the horse you were riding, I said, wait a minute, Ichabod Crane, who, of course, won the Evan Shipman.
Third in the Preakness.
Third in the Preakness, won the Federico Tessio, so I remember that one. Talk a little bit about it.
So when I got the phone call that I would be riding Ichabod Crane, I got so excited that I accidentally threw my phone across the apartment because I have been a huge fan of his since his racing career. He was also designated as America's most wanted thoroughbred in the first ever Retired Racehorse Project Thoroughbred Makeover. Like, this horse is a rock star. He has a Breyer model horse made after him. So my inner 6-year-old was having a meltdown. But it's the Real Rider Cup is a truly remarkable event. And I want to recognize Anita Motion and Maggie Kimmett for their incredible hard work in putting it together. But essentially, it pairs mostly people involved in the racing industry with retired racehorses to participate in a horse show. The last 2 years, it's been virtual, but to showcase how incredible and how versatile these retired racehorses are once their racing career is behind them. So, you know, Ichabod Crane, for example, you know, has been incredibly successful with Olympian Philip Dutton's eventing stable. But I've ridden horses that, you know, have won $500 on the track. And I was fortunate enough to ride horses of Ichabod Crane's caliber. And they all just have the heart, the athleticism, and the determination to really succeed off of the racetrack, and the attitude. I think that there is a bit of a preconceived notion that because these horses have raced, they're going to be extremely high strung, hard to work with. The reality is, although they might be very athletic, they have seen everything. They have seen cars, crowds, noise, lights, TV cameras. You know, the only thing that might freak them out is like a deer. But even then, we've seen deer, you know, on the racetrack too. So, you know, they're remarkable, remarkable partners for second career horses. Everything from trail riding to horse shows, barrel racing, whatever you want to do. They can be children's horses. So it's been a huge, huge privilege of my life to be able to be involved in this because I genuinely really love these horses, and being able to help fundraise for them is incredibly meaningful.
Yeah, you look great on the horse there. And so, again, the Real Rider Cup, nice event that it offers opportunities and awareness for those second careers. So it's a great event to tout a little bit. Also great to tout more, americasbestracing.net. Great website to keep up with racing and, you know, the fun and the handicapping as well. So I will point folks in that direction. Penelope Miller, Senior Manager, Digital Media. Again, it's been too long, but we're happy to get you back here in 2021 with the rest of the fans. Thanks for stopping by.
Thank you so much. It's wonderful to be back.
Penelope Miller from America's Best Racing. Up next, after the break, Brad Cox, of course, essential quality in the Jim Dandy this afternoon, and more. Stay tuned.
Where's the best place to find your favorite teams, your favorite food, daily drink specials, and wagering on live horse racing? Legends Field Sports Bar, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Get your game on day or night with 75 flat-screen TVs, tournament-style pool tables, a private banquet room, and live horse racing. So if someone asks you, where's the best sports bar in the capital region? Tell them Legends Field Sports Bar, inside the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now.
I'm Seth Merrow, and as serious horse players, we know that information is critical when placing a bet. With live streaming of more than 30 tracks, race replays, free past performances, and daily picks from professional handicappers, no one gives you more up-to-the-minute information than Capital OTB. Combine that with the best player awards in New York State, and you have everything a serious horse player needs to be successful.
Win more with Capital OTB.
Winning starts here. Welcome back to Racing Across America. Again, we are waiting on Brad Cox to swing by. So in the meantime, I will just update you after yesterday. First of all, yesterday, 24,000 plus attended. Again, a very nice afternoon on Friday after a rainy Thursday night into Friday. But 24,000, and it was legit, I think. There was a nice crowd there yesterday. But after Friday's card, we are currently looking at the jockey standings. Luis Saez continues to ride very well. 21 winners. Jose Ortiz sits second with 20. Brother Irad at 18. And then we pop down to Joel Rosario with 11. Tyler Gaffleone with 10. So Luis Saez currently one up on the runner-up with 21 wins. On the trainer side of things, Mike Maker off to a really good start. Mike Maker with 10 winners so far. Todd Pletcher has 8, Steve Asmussen 7, and then there's 3 with 6 wins. Chad Brown, Brad Cox, Christophe Clement, but Mike Maker currently early in the meet, sitting atop the trainer standings after day 12 with 10 winners. So nice performance there early in the meet from Mr. Maker. Again, do want to remind you that today is PDJF Awareness Day over on the front side, about 45 minutes away from the autograph session that will go from 11:30 to 12:30. All your favorite jockeys will be over there. Pop off a little donation to the PDJF and get, your program signed, or if you have photos or old programs, you can get those autographed from the jockeys at the Silks Room. 11:30 to 12:30 today on PDJF Awareness Day. So keep that in mind, the autograph session this morning. I'm going to take a quick break. I will return in just a minute because I'm getting a phone call. So stay tuned.
Where's the best place to find your favorite teams, your favorite food, daily drink specials, and wagering on live horse racing? Legends Field Sports Bar, 711 Central Avenue, Albany. Get your game on day or night with 75 flat-screen TVs, tournament-style pool tables, a private banquet room, and live horse racing. So if someone asks you, where's the best sports bar in the capital region? Tell them Legends Field Sports Bar, inside the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.
Capital OTB is now streaming live on Roku. The RTN Racing channel on Roku lets you watch OTB TV live through your Roku device or your Amazon Fire Stick, rather than being limited to computers and mobile devices, which means you can now watch OTB live wherever you are. Simply open Roku, scroll to find the RTN channel, then click on OTB TV. OTB TV on Roku. Try it now.
Welcome to Albany County, an incredible destination to live, work, and play, with easy connections to more than a dozen cities from our vibrant modern airport. It's a short trip downtown to a hive of culture and amusement, from world-class shows at the newly renovated Times Union Center to reliving the past at the New York State Museum. From outdoor recreation to shopping to nightlife, Albany County has something for everyone. We'll see you soon.
Set now for the juvenile fillies, turf. 14 of them across the track. Field set on their way. And of the dance on the outside, broke a little sideways with Pro KK, but meanwhile it's going to be stopped. But running on now, and Somali Lemonade's got 8 to make up. They come to the top of the lane. Stop Shopping Maria's got a lot left. Stop Shopping Maria goes on. Sweet Cat is right there. Hard not to like. Royal Body is running on. Past the 8th ball way comes. Stop Shopping Maria for the run. Still under a hand ride as they come to the 16th. Stephanie's Kitten coming out late. Yes, Stephanie's Kitten coming fast. Stephanie's Kitten. Stop Shopping Maria. Stephanie's Kitten's water. Watched the chances, broke smartly, but so did Terra from the Cape. On the inside, Sky Lantern, the grey going well. If he can get through. Sky Lantern, the grey looking for somewhere to run. Wide open. It's Terra from the Cape hanging on. Terra from the Cape tries to go all the way. On the outside now, here comes Flotilla in the light blue. Flotilla is absolutely flying. Watch the chances in there too. But Flotilla has gone right on by. And Flotilla is coming home to score. Flotilla has won it just about 2 in the end. It'll be watch the chances. Summer of fun coming on to finish third.
Welcome back to Racing Across America on this Saturday morning. Jim Dandy this afternoon, the morning line favorite, Essential Quality, the trainer, Brad Cox. He joins me now. Brad, good morning.
Good morning, Seth. Thanks for having me on.
Happy to have you here, and we'll talk a little Essential Quality and more in a moment. But first, I'm asking everybody who comes, Saratoga is really the first track where we've kind of gotten back to normal. I mean, things at the Derby were moving in that direction, but I'm just curious from the the perspective of the players of the game, what it's been like the past week and a half or so with the fans back in the stands.
Yeah, I mean, it's as normal as can be, to be honest with you. It's great. I was leaving here last night. We ran a Colt and a Curlin, and pulling out. I mean, it's traffic.
Yeah.
It's the way you want it. You want to send traffic after the races. People leaving, heading downtown for dinner or wherever they may be going. But great atmosphere here each and every year. And it's been great so far.
Yeah, you're right. It's funny. Who would have thought we would have longed for the days of the traffic jam? But it's fun to get back and be a little bit normal. All right, let's talk a little Essential Quality because I have pulled up the Belmont Stakes. He'll be the number 2 horse here. Nice little ding-dong battle with Hot Rod Charlie. That gets it on the eventual chart margin just a little over a length. So he's coming out of the Belmont into today's race. What was your takeaway from the Belmont?
I ran big. Obviously, it was a fantastic race and, an American classic. So it was, a big feather in his cap. And here, as I'm watching it with you here, at the wire, he kind of flicked his ears up and, he always seems to have a little more. He's a pretty special horse and, a tremendous amount of stamina and a talent. And, I just thought it was, a championship performance, to be honest with you.
Yeah, it was a good-looking run, certainly, as I say, a nice little ding-dong battle. And Luis Saez is on board, was on board there, on board again. Got to have a little confidence in the way Luis is riding at the meet.
Yeah, no doubt. He's, one of the top riders in the country, and he's, got off to a great start. Kieran McLaughlin doing a fantastic job for him, riding for the right barns, the right horses, and it's what it takes in regards to a jock, leading the way. So, definitely have confidence in Louis, always have, and hopefully we can, add to already a fantastic meet for him here today.
I wanted to go back and also watch the stretch run of the Derby. Medina Spirit, the 8 will win. Mandaloon, your other horse, the 7 runs second. Hot Rod Charlie, 9 runs third. Essential Quality, 14 runs fourth. The only blemish on his record, I'd love your takeaway from the Derby.
Well, just kind of got bumped a jump or two out coming out of the gate. I thought maybe compromised his position early going into the first turn. Louis may have had to use him a little bit more than he would have liked to going up the stretch the first run or first time. So, and wide, very wide. I mean, tremendous amount of ground loss. I can't remember exactly how much further he ran than Medina Spirit in regards to, like Trackus and feet travel. I think it was like 64, 68. But, overall, I thought it was a winning race. He ran a winning race, just, ended up fourth that day. And it was a big effort, bounced out of it great. And, he gave us enough confidence to march forward to the Belmont. He was training that well. And, he's given us enough confidence to march forward to the Jim Dandy today.
And how's he taken to Saratoga since he arrived up
there?
His
main base has always been Churchill, really since summer of his 2-year-old season. But he's as good as ever. He really, really is. I'm excited about running him today. Great climate. I mean, Belmont was extremely warm that day. It was taxing on those horses. And, for him to bounce out of it, ship all the way back to Kentucky, bounce out of it the way he did, and then now come up here and, get a little break in the weather. He seems to be as happy and healthy and as fit as he's ever been.
So got to have some confidence for this afternoon.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, we have to run the race and things have to unfold. And you have to have racing luck. But if he gets all of that, he'll be a very tough horse to beat today. I'm very happy with how.
Talk a little bit in general. You mentioned it, the weather. The last couple of days have really been. I mean, the mornings here have been great. And, I always hear the horses really love this and kind of flourish in this type of an atmosphere with the weather that we've had the past couple of days.
Yeah, for sure. The horses, definitely have more energy, and I think the same thing with the people. I mean, there's no doubt.
Yeah.
It's people and horses. I mean, when you got your grooms, your hot walkers, when it's really hot, everybody gets tired. And toward the end of the morning, everyone starts struggling. It's just when people work outside, horses are outside training. It just obviously a breath of fresh air. Bottom line, and I think you can you're just definitely can work a little longer and enjoy it a little bit more.
No, that's the truth. Also wanted to get an update. We did see the second in the Derby from Mandaloun. I'll pull up the last few yards of the Haskell from a few weeks ago. Hot Rod Charlie comes under the wire first, but then there was the DQ. Mandaloun moved up to the win. Mandaloun, the number 3 there on the inside. Man, this is a nice battle here to the wire. He just a little short, but then the DQ moves him up to the win. What was your takeaway from this race, and what's going to be the game plan with Mandaloun?
Yeah, big effort there in the Haskell. Very proud of him. He was doing really well. He showed up, run his race, and hooked up with Hot Rod Charlie again. Those two horses have met a few times now, and I guess 3 times now between the Louisiana Derby, Kentucky Derby, and Haskell. But he ran great. Real happy with him. We shipped him up here to Saratoga following the Haskell. He settled in great. We've kept him over on the Oklahoma training track, just kind of letting him chill out, get a feel for Saratoga. And he looks amazing. He really has put on weight since the Haskell, and just super happy with how he's moving. If he has another good week, we'll probably breeze him next week and come up with a game plan on, Travers, PA Derby, or where we're going to land.
So that you're looking.
Yeah, we haven't zeroed in, on anything. I think you will see what happens in the Jim Dandy today. Obviously, the Curlin yesterday will play a role in, some of the field in regards to the Travers or the PA Derby. We'll kind of just let things shake out over the next week or so.
And I have to ask, are you thinking? I don't know where. If I was in your shoes, how I would. Are you thinking, hey, I may be a Derby winner, or is that just it's so out of my hands that
it's so out of my hands?
Yeah.
There's nothing I can do to control that situation or the outcome, and it'll all work out the way it's meant to be.
Yeah.
And we just keep playing the game.
No, I hear you. You talked about being over on the Oklahoma. I'd love your opinion there. They did the major refurbishment over the off season, and what's your opinion of Oklahoma?
Track's really good. I really like the track over there. We kind of split it up. We'll train on both surfaces. I think the main track here is great as well, but we split it up. We're stable on the Oklahoma side. We bounce back and forth between just depending on what we're trying to get achieved or done of the mornings. But both surfaces have been really good this summer.
Very good. Another one I wanted to touch on, because I'm assuming Whitney's still the game plan for Nick's Go. And I was in doing our handicapping show, and we also did a stakes preview that week, and we're going to look at the Prairie Meadows race from July 2nd, the Cornhusker. And I said, I'm wondering if this just isn't a little bit of a confidence booster, and I love your take on that as the trainer side. But I said if that's the case, mission accomplished here. So talk a little bit about Nick's Go here in the Prairie Meadows Stakes race.
Once again, big effort. You just want to get him back around 2 turns. We loved him leading up to the Met Mile, how he was training. We thought he was training just as well there as he was leading up to the Dirt Mile or the Pegasus last winter. And we just wanted some confirmation that, it's the 2 turns that he needs. And I thought that was confirmation enough to give us the confidence to try the Whitney. Yeah. He worked this morning at Ellis. He had a fantastic booth. We had him in 59-4, out 112-4. He'll get on a van on Monday and ship up. And, once again, around 2 turns, I think he's a different animal for sure.
As they say, if they were looking for a confidence boost, mission accomplished there. That was a really good-looking race. And you've had him training down at Ellis. And I was reading the Racing Form article. He's got a exercise rider down there that's kind of a regular.
Yeah, he does a good job on him. Dustin Dugas, my assistant here, gets on him as well when he's in New York, and he does a fine job on him as well. But we just thought we wasn't quite sure if we were coming straight to the Whitney. Thought we'd take him to Ellis, kind of let him tell us if he's ready for it. And after his 3 works post a Cornhusker, he kind of tipping his hand that he's ready to run again.
And I've noticed as I was kind of prepping for this last night, you've got some horses here, some horses at Ellis working out and whatnot. How did all that situation play? Because for folks who don't know, Churchill, the back stretch closed with track renovations going on. So how did that play into how you parse things out?
Well, I thought it was going to be challenging in the beginning, but overall with the amount of luck we've had here at Saratoga to begin the meet and Ellis Park as well, I feel like it's went really well. We're actually shipped a filly out to Del Mar for the San Clemente. She left on Wednesday. She runs tomorrow.
I was going to ask about
She Dares
the Devil.
So she's doing well, and if she performs well tomorrow, I think it's a testament to how well horses do at Ellis Park and train over that track and can ship out of there and run anywhere. So we'll get a better line on shipping out of Ellis Park tomorrow with She Dares the Devil, and Nick's Go up here next Saturday.
And I pulled up a replay of She Dares the Devil winning the La Troyenne at Churchill Derby weekend, and subsequently ran 3rd in the Ogden Phipps So again, when we watch the replay here, she'll be the number 2, winning down at Churchill a couple of starts back. But what was the game plan? What was the thought process to ship out to Del Mar for the Clement Hirsch?
Breeders' Cup being there. And it's a win and you're in, and it's a grade 1. So, we thought it made sense to, maybe go on out and see if she likes the track.
Sure.
She was out there before with a previous trainer that had her as a 2-year-old. We picked her up in November of her 2-year-old season. But she has some experience out there. We thought it would, make sense. I think she's a morning on favorite. So, I think it's a good spot. It kind of keeps us away from maybe Latruska at the current time. And bringing her up here for the personal ensign, I mean, that would have been an option as well. But we also have Bonnie South that's here preparing for the personal ensign as well. So, it's nice to split these good ones up when you have an opportunity to.
I was looking through some of the stakes nominations, so just let you update, because you had a couple of good first out filly 2-year-old filly winners. Always nice to have the live 2-year-olds. It looks like one's over at Ellis and one's here. I'll tell the guys in the control, and you can just put these replays together, and I'll let you talk a little bit about. First up, we're going to look at Interstate Daydream, the number 5 horse in a nice, again, debut effort win down at Belmont. And then at Ellis, it was Yin Yang. That one will be the number 8 horse when we watch that replay. And they're both amongst the nominations for the Adirondack. Can we look for them to come here or split them up? Or
yeah, this filly here, Interstate Daydream, she's a Canadian bred. We brought her up here because of that, because she wouldn't run for all the money in Kentucky. So decided to bring her to Belmont. She performed well first time out. Filly that was second to her come back and won last weekend. So that was a positive. And she's trained well. She breeds really well, and we're pointing her for the Adirondack. This filly here, Yin Yang, she's a nice filly by point of entry that actually the fillies that were second and third in this race came back and were first and second again, or first and second yesterday in a maiden. So I think she come out of a good maiden, and hopefully she will move forward. She's a filly that may come up for the PG Johnson at the end of the meet. It's a possibility. May keep her on the turf for the short term.
Yeah, and as you say, Interstate Daydream, Misinterpret was the horse that ran second, and she came back with a nice race. That's always got to be a confidence booster when the horses you beat perform nice in their next start.
Yeah, for sure, with the 2-year-olds especially, and it always seems like it's worth something having a start with these 2-year-olds. They always seem to move forward, in their second and third start. But yeah, definitely when you can, the horses behind you show up, it's always a confidence booster.
Yeah, it gives you a little, get flattered a little bit. Didn't pull up any replays, but I saw in the nominations the Hall of Fame, Royal Prince and TD Dance are among the nominations. Will we see other those in that?
I don't think so, Seth.
Okay.
Neither one of those will make the trip up.
Okay, all right, very good. Certainly wish you a lot of good luck this afternoon in the Jim Dandy with Essential Quality and going forward as well. Always appreciate your time. I know it's a busy time up here, and to show appreciation from Capital OTB, we do have a gift card to Penel's, so
thanks.
Go out to dinner on us and grab a little Italian food just around the corner at Penel's. But again, we appreciate your time and wish you a lot of good luck on the meet.
Thanks, Seth. Appreciate it.
Brad Cox with the favorite Essential Quality in the Jim Dandy this afternoon, and much, much more as the meet progresses. I will wrap it up for this edition of Racing Across America. Again, it's a gorgeous day. Come on up, enjoy the racetrack, great stakes action, great racing otherwise as well. As far as the programming here on the network, we're back tomorrow morning, 9 a.m. with the Handicapper Support, 10 a.m. with Loose on the Lead. We'll see you then.
Promotional consideration for Racing Across America provided by Penel's Restaurant, a 99-year tradition of serving the finest authentic Italian recipes made with the freshest ingredients. Penel's Italian Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track.
You've been watching Racing Across America. Racing Across America has been brought to you by. Racing Across America is brought to you by Penel's Restaurant, a Saratoga tradition since 1922. 284 Jefferson Street, Saratoga, just minutes from the track. The Leah Auto Group. Leah Cars for life. Find them on the web at leahcars.com. The new Capital OTB wagering platform. Bet any place, anytime, with the new Capital OTB wagering platform. CapitalOTBBet.com, the premier wagering site in New York State. And the Clubhouse Racebook. Can't make it to the track? Make it to the Clubhouse Racebook, 711 Central Avenue, Albany.